the child's hand. And rattling and constant. To my right, empty space where old Mectine used to live until his heart gave out 3 weeks back. Heart failure at 53. That is old age in the worker levels. They processed him within 4 hours. Standard efficiency. They put someone new in his space the next day. Young woman, maybe 20, works the textile factories. She cries sometimes at night. New workers always cry. Old workers learn to cry silently or stop crying altogether. I pull on my work coveralls. The fabric is supposed to be gray, but years of stains have turned it the color of old blood mixed with chemical burn. If you think about what creates texture, you stop eating. If you stop eating, you die. Then someone else eats you. The circle completes. He said this with the same mechanical tone he used for everything else. Factory work kills humor, kills emotion, kills everything except the ability to function. I eat my crackers the same way my father did. Swallow them whole. Wash them down with recycled water that tastes of chemicals and metal. The water comes from the same reclamation plants heron works. Human waste goes in, water comes out. If you think about the process, you stop drinking. If you stop drinking, you die. The Imperium has perfected the art of making survival require constant denial of reality. The walk to Sector 9 Delta takes 30 minutes through corridors thick with workers, all going to their own hells. Thousands of us. Tens of thousands, maybe. All in stained coveralls. All wearing respirators that do not work. All moving with the same mechanical gait, the same dead eyes, the same aura of people who stopped living and started just functioning. We do not talk. We do not make eye contact. We do not acknowledge each other as humans because acknowledging humanity means acknowledging what the work does to humanity, and that acknowledgement would break us. The corridors are lit by overhead lumens that flicker constantly. The walls are covered in pipes that leak and cables that spark and graffiti that tells the story of worker desperation, going back decades. Some graffiti is simple, names of workers long dead, dates of shifts that never ended, counts of bodies processed. Other graffiti is darker, symbols that hurt to look at, phrases in languages that should not exist, warnings about things in the deep levels, prayers to the Emperor that sound more like curses, evidence of previous uprisings and previous purges and previous cycles of madness that the Guild scrubbed from official history but could not scrub from the walls themselves. Above us, somewhere in the distant spot, it through, producing waste that becomes fuel for the next cycle. This is our purpose. This is our existence. This is what the Emperor demands of us, though the Emperor has been dead or dying for 10,000 years, and nobody dares admit it. The mortuary caravans pass us on the main thoroughfare. Massive vehicles, 8-wheeled, covered in guild markings and purity seals, and symbols that warn of their cargo. Each caravan carries 50 to 100 bodies. Some are wrapped in cheap cloth that serves as shroud and contamination barrier. Some are naked, piled like wood, stacked with efficiency that would impress any logistics coordinator. Some are fresh. killed hours ago in gang fights or work accidents or simple failures of the human body in an environment hostile to human life. Blood still drips from these ones. Fluids still leak. The smell is copper and meat and fear. Some are old, dead for days or weeks, bloated from internal gases, skin discolored to shades that should not exist in nature, leaking from every opening. The smell from these is worse. Sweet and rotten and wrong in ways that make your hindbrain scream about disease and danger and death. The caravan drivers wear full environmental suits, better than our cheap respirators, better than our stained coveralls. They are guild contractors, better paid, better protected, better positioned in the hierarchy that sorts humans by value. They smoke low-stick categorizing them by decomposition state. learning to touch dead flesh without flinching, learning to see humans as processing material. Before that, I was a loader for 2 years, the lowest position, hauling bodies from the reception bays to the sorting floors. Building muscle, building tolerance, building the psychological scars that make you suitable for promotion. The guild promotes based on tolerance. They monitor workers constantly. Psychological evaluations every month. Efficiency ratings every shift. Observation from overseers who watch for signs of breaking. If you can their wet song, rendering pumps pushing fluids through pipes, alarm klaxons marking jams or malfunctions or efficiency drops, workers shouting over the noise, overseers barking orders, the machinery itself groaning under constant operation. All of it combines into a symphony of industrial death that plays 26 hours a day without pause. My station is a grinder unit. Model designation MG7700. Industrial scale. Designed for high-volume processing. It can process 12 bodies per hour if they are standard size and standard decomposition. More if they are children because children have less mass and softer bone. Press the button, wait 4 minutes, monitor for jams, watch the indicator lights, listen for wrong sounds, clear jams if they occur. Reach into the chamber with long tools, pull out whatever is causing the blockage. Usually augmetics, sometimes clothing that wrapped around the blades, sometimes bones that caught wrong and created tangles. Repeat for 16 hours. Every shift, 6 days per week. For 8 years now. For the rest of my life, unless I die or go insane or break so badly the guild removes me. The first body of the day comes down the conveyor. The system alerts me with a tone and a flashing light. I turn from my mental catalogue of the station's functions and look at what the work has brought me. An adult male. Dead approximately 1 day from the color and smell Word, he completes his work, meets his quota, goes to his hab block, returns for the next shift. Repeat. The guild monitors him carefully. Silent workers sometimes break violently. Sometimes they attack overseers or sabotage machinery or try to burn down the factory. But Dekus just works. Silently, mechanically, empty. He completed the circle with his daughter. Now he waits to complete the circle himself. We do not talk about these things during shifts. We talk during break periods, 15 minutes every 8 hours. Mandatory rest to maintain worker efficiency. We gather in the break rooms, small chambers with metal benches and vending machines that dispense Corpse-Starch crackers and recycled water. We eat, we drink. Priority. The pale consorts ride the mortuary caravans through the underhive and mid-levels. They hunt fresh meat during gang wars. They prospect for rich seams of dead in collapsed sectors. They poke corpses with their surgical tools. They whisper in languages we do not understand. They determine which bodies go to which facilities. Superstition says looking at a pale consort's face brings death. Superstition says the consorts are not human anymore. Superstition says they serve powers beyond the guild. Truth is, nobody knows because nobody looks. Nobody asks. Nobody wants answers to questions that might get you disappeared. Above the harvesters are the sorters. Yenna started as a sorter, spent 6 years handling fresh corpses before promoting to processor. Sorters work in refrigerated chambers where the dead are brought first. They categorize by decomposition state. Fresh bodies go to immediate processing. Older bodies go to chemical treatment. failed. The machine took his whole arm before we could manually disable it. The guild sent him to medical, basic care. They attached a crude augmetic arm, cheap model, barely functional. He came back 3 weeks later, assigned to sorting because he cannot handle the manual loading anymore. His efficiency dropped 30% immediately. The guild monitors him carefully. He will not last another year. Either he will improve or he will disappear. The system does not tolerate extended inefficiency. Above the processors are the refiners. They oversee the chemical vats where rendered paste gets mixed with preservatives and nutrients. They operate the extrusion systems that shape paste into blocks and crackers. They manage the packaging lines that prepare final product for distribution. Refiners work in chambers filled with acid fumes and boiling liquids. Their environmental suits are better than ours. Full body coverage. Real air filtration. The work is still soul-destroying. They turn human paste into human food. They close the circle. They make it possible for everyone to pretend Corpse-Starch is just synthetic protein, just nutrition, just fuel, nothing more. They know better. They see the paste. They add the chemicals. They press the crackers. They complete the transformation that lets the Imperium survive by eating itself. Some refiners develop breathing problems from the fumes. Some develop skin conditions from chemical splashes. Some develop psychological problems from understanding exactly what they are producing. The guild monitors them all, removes the ones who break, promotes the ones who endure. Above the refiners are the overseers. Guild officials like Vander. They monitor efficiency